I actually want to do web scraping more extensively next time, so for now I just want a quick demo on web scraping using the help of AI. Right? But before I do that, let me show you a quick example of what the concepts are. So here's the website I want to scrape. .com. There's a stock quote. And for tickers, you always start with a caret and then put the ticker name. And this is DJI, Dow Jones Index. If you go here, you see that this is the Dow Jones average. This is right now Monday morning before 9:30 a.m. So it's not updated yet. So this is last Friday. Okay, but anyways, let's say we want to have our Python script to go to this page and check for this number and store that in the database. So how do you do that? Well, let's start with requests. So import requests, and then you also need to parse the result. Last time I showed you how to parse the HTML using regex, but a lot of times when the web page is pretty big, it's hard to do it that way. So we're going to use something called Beautiful Soup. Both may need to be installed by pip install, but if you're using Anaconda Edition, this is given. And then we're going to use URL equals to quotation. Let's go here, copy the web address. Let's just paste it. And then we will do response equals to requests dot get. This I showed you last time. So you feed in the URL, and same as before, you have to put some kind of a header. I tried with this website, and again, without a header, especially without specifying a user agent, it wouldn't respond. So you have to put a user agent. Let me see. Let's just put it over here. User agent and colon. And you don't need to put anything specific. So I don't know, maybe Python. Using Python to get this, and you can put something else. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to parse this with Beautiful Soup. So beautiful soup. Response dot content. Just try to make use of tab completion whenever you can. Okay? And then there is the HTML.parser. You have to feed this in to HTML.parser. You have to feed this in order to tell Beautiful Soup that you're trying to parse this as an HTML. Okay, now we have to get the actual price, and that's when it gets complicated. And the way you do it is by going here, click on this, right click, and inspect. So if you inspect, it says, okay, this is span class. It gives you some HTML. class is base, Yahoo Finance, IPW1H0, I don't know what that means. Data test ID, QSP price. Now, class and ID is something that's in the basic HTML language. Okay, classes you can have multiple objects in the HTML code with the same class name. But if you have an ID equals to something, that's a unique one. And often if you have an ID, that's a nice thing because you can guarantee that out of the entire HTML page, the only object with that ID name will be that one. But unfortunately, this is a class name. So there could be other objects in the HTML that has the class as the same thing. So the class itself won't be enough to pick this one. And you need something extra called data test ID QSP price. And then if you open this, it says something like before 44546.08, which is the price that we want to scrape, and then after. Now, I don't exactly know what colon before and colon after is. It's an additional marker, not in HTML. This is not part of HTML, but it could be like React.js or Angular.js. There's some other framework that uses this extra thing. But as far as I know, before, after, these are not really HTML markers. But what I want is just to scrape this, and the way you get to this is by using this identifier. Now, to get this identifier, you have many options. You can right click and copy, and then you can do copy XPath. Now, let me show you the XPath. XPath looks something like this. So what it does is, like, you start with the Nimbus app. Oh, okay. And it goes for the section. Inside that section, there's another section. There's another section. There's the article, section 1, div 2, div 1, section. It's like a directory structure. XPath is like directory structure. You just look into HTML. Complex HTMLs have objects inside inside the object, just like your hard drive has stuff like in a folder inside a folder inside a folder. So in order to maneuver that, you need to go several layers in. But this is highly volatile. I mean, maybe they might want to change the structure a little bit. This article might be changed to section or something, and once you change something, then it doesn't work. So XPath, if nothing works, then you might try XPath, but not a good idea. Another thing is you can try to copy this by the styles or copy selector. If you copy selector, let's see what this is. So it shows you how to get in there, but this is, again, not much different from the XPath. So instead of, while those things could work for short term, many times these pages undergo some changes and then suddenly your scraper doesn't work. So what I want to do is I want to copy the outer HTML. So copy outer HTML, paste it here, and this is what you have. And we're going to get the help of AI for this one. Okay, so let me go to Google Gemini, or anything else should be able to do this. Okay, So write a Python script using requests and bs4 beautiful soup to scrape a URL for an item in the HTML whose tag is, and then shift enter, and it will paste this thing. Okay. And it's going to give you some long stuff. It doesn't have to be this long, but what's really important is this part right here. This one. Okay, it says soup.find span. So tag is span, and the class name is this thing, as we have seen, and data is this thing. So that's what I want. Okay. And it says other stuff but that's okay. We'll just say this is price. Okay, so we'll just go back and we'll just say price equals to this. Okay, so it's going to find if you go back there, there's space, and then I'm a little worried about this space. Maybe the space has to be exactly the same. But then data test ID, this is the internal variable that has to be set as QSP price, and these things are fed into the soup. Okay, all right. So let's run this. I'm not so sure if it's going to work. We may need to add some more spaces in here because it seems to have more spaces. You know, AI isn't always perfect, so you have to, it gave you 443 is HTTPS connection, price. Oh, it did give me price. I forgot to print it. Okay, so that's good. It worked. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to print this one only. So how do I do that? Well, let's do dir price. And often it's just the text that's inside. Sometimes you can also do inner HTML. Does it have HTML? Or it doesn't have anything else. Okay, so we can just say price.text, and it gives me this one. And maybe what I want to do is change this to float. This is numeric. There's a trailing space that doesn't like that, so let's strip. Oh, it doesn't like the comma. All right, so let's say replace comma with nothing. Okay. All right, so that's going to be our price. Okay, so we'll put price float equals to that, and then print price. Okay, good. Oh, price float. Yeah. So this is put in, and then you just have to now save this in some file, or you can send this to some SQL database. That's how you do this.